The morning of my 19th day hiking the AT, I was headed out of Gatlinburg. I mostly got off trail because I wanted town food, and that morning we found amazing breakfast sandwiches at a gas station. We caught the shuttle back into Great Smoky Mountain National Park, back to Newfound Gap, where we left off. They say it's going to be a bit of a rough day today. Lots of hills, gonna be hot, but I feel so full. I'm so glad I went to Gatlinburg, honestly, because even though it wasn't super necessary, like, just being able to have food and the excitement of arriving more than anything, that was really fun. I don't really want to finish the trail fast, I just want to have a lot of memories from the trail. And this is going to be a memory for sure. With some trail magic in the parking lot and less than 2,000 miles till Katahdin, it was back to the trail. I have been hiking my little heart out and still only going 2 miles an hour, which is really frustrating. It's like I was saying in one of the videos where I was training for the AT. Sometimes you can't help how fast you go, and you might drive yourself crazy, being like, I thought I was going 3 miles an hour. What I do is try to focus on how much time you're spending on trail. Like I did get a late start today. Self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you flex it, the stronger it gets. But, I was in town, so that's not really my fault. I guess I couldn't have gone to town. But anyway, it's just like, sometimes you can't help it. Be patient with yourself is what I'm trying to say. Good news is, though, that I found a really cool lunch spot. Sitting on this mossy rock under a tree in the shade, and I have a view of mountains that way. There's something about these mountains that I don't mean to sound cheesy, but it feels like home. Which does make a lot of sense, because I didn't grow up here, but I don't know, there's just something about them. Maybe because they're so old, and they feel soft, or they look soft. Because they're not as jagged and there's trees growing on them. It's beautiful. Want to see what I packed myself out as a little treat? Hostess cupcakes! Dude, I spent $35 on snacks yesterday. But when you're hungry, I'm 0.1 miles away from the campsite right now, so just gotta get up this hill. It wasn't really that long of a day. It's only 5 right now, so I guess when you're in the middle of something, it seems like, oh, this is taking forever, but sometimes you just gotta wait it out. Time will pass, you'll move along. You'll get there eventually.
Smoky Mountains.
I'm just feeling so darn happy this morning. I woke up in the middle of the night, because I always do, just not able to sleep. And as I was trying to fall back asleep, I looked at my watch and it was 5:50. So I thought, well, might as well start quietly getting ready for the day. Feeling pretty good for the day. It's absolutely beautiful with all this, what they call it, fog. But yeah, such a cool feeling to walk up to a shelter, meet maybe 20 strangers, sleep next to them, and then leave feeling like they're good friends. I just love life on the trail so much. It's been a pretty monotonous day so far, raining on and off, and it's the kind of weather that while you're walking you want to think about everything that's ever gone wrong in your life, every time you haven't stood up for yourself, every time someone's hurt you. Maybe I'm just sensitive and dramatic, but maybe this is kind of a universal experience with hiking. You just have so much time to think. Sometimes you think over the bad parts of your life too. Getting out of the Smokies was a little pick-me-up for the day. Even though, not everything in life is dandy, at least I'm out here. I'm doing a big adventure and making progress every day. Where I'm staying tonight, though, is only about 2 miles away. Standing Bear Farm, which is a hostel. It goes back to what we were talking about before, about the AT being an industry. A lot of us on trail use this app called Far Out for our map, and there are 9 sections of map, 10 counting the, approach trail, and the first map is called Springer to Standing Bear, and it's kind of like, I bet they paid to have their name on that map, so psychologically, all the hikers would be like, Standing Bear, that's our destination, we're stopping for the night. But it's interesting going back to, this is how some people make their living, helping out hikers. The reviews of Standing Bear Farm, some of them are bad, some of them are good, and it just seems like it's either your vibe or it's not. And because I was already kind of not in a great mood during the day yesterday, and two, I'm having problems with storing videos on my phone. I always have that problem. Very stressful, very annoying. I was just not in the mood for, it's a little disorganized. For example, I spent so long asking around if anyone knew where the hiker box was. I was so frustrated, I actually teared up. But only for a second, because there was a ton of people everywhere, and if someone asked what was wrong, I didn't want the answer to be I couldn't find a box of unwanted food, and I kind of just wanted a little bit of luxury, you know? They had porta potties, and I was looking forward to using a flushable toilet. Last night, as I was laying down, I was thinking, I'm really in it now, really into trail mode. In other past backpacking trips, I look back on my first couple days and think, that girl barely had her feet wet. Nowadays, it's like, if a bug gets in my food, that doesn't bother me. If I have to walk half a mile more, that does bother me a lot. And just stuff like that. I feel like I'm dirty and not even a shower. One shower could really wash off all this dirt. So it's a mental state that it's really hard to describe unless you've been backpacking for a long period of time. All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. Today is going to be a hard day, full of hills, but I'll just take it one step at a time. They really have some nice signs on this part of the trail. Congratulations, Carolina Mountain Club. I think it was just in the underbrush, not even on the trail, but I heard the leaves rustling, so I looked, and there was a snake. Luckily, it did not look venomous at all, and it's just a really good reminder that as it's warming up, gotta be keeping my eyes open. After changing into warm clothes and setting up my tent, I had north sides Alfredo for dinner. That week, I had climbed the highest point on the AT, which is Klingman's Dome, stayed in a shelter for the first time, and was now obsessed with food. I was getting into the swing of life on trail, but at the same time, so much still lay ahead. Here we are, made it to another Saturday night. First time I'm not in a hotel on Saturday, just by coincidence. But let's see. First of all, what did I notice this week about the landscape and the seasons changing? Well, the landscape was very, very different because I started outside of the Smokies, went through, and then finished north of the Smokies. So first, I don't really remember. I think it was pretty much like it was the week before. And then in the Smokies, all those wildflowers. And then that part of the forest where it was a lot more pine tree and there was moss and it looked like Washington. And let's see, moving out of the Smokies, today it's been really springy. In fact, it's been a lot of wildflowers, a lot of those little plants that look like umbrellas. And I'm noticing like medium height trees and small trees have buds. Not big tall trees yet. Interesting how that worked. As far as the common experience of the people around me on trail this week, really it's a lot different. The first 2 weeks I definitely recognized a lot of people in camp every night, and now I'm camping with a new group every night, it seems like. So I think a lot of people are getting more and more spaced out, and a lot of times it doesn't even have to do with how fast you're going. It's just like maybe you took an off day here, maybe you took a really long day, or just, it all just depends. Last week, the problem I was trying to solve was blisters on my feet. And what I was trying to do was have my parents send me my more breathable shoes, and I haven't gotten those yet, but still I have been getting less blisters. I didn't really do anything. I guess it just took 2 weeks for my feet to toughen up and get used to those shoes. And in a few days, I'm going to get those new shoes, so my feet will have to figure it out again. I forgot to say what I'm going to work on next week, and what it is distracting myself better while I'm walking, because right now I'm always like checking the map every couple minutes, and I need to just get in the zone and get walking, get my mind thinking about something else. As far as my favorite memory this week, that's kind of a tough one. So many good spots in nature. In third place, my third favorite memory this week was going through that part of the Smokies where it was all mossy. My second favorite memory was today, going on Max Patch. That was so cool and so energizing to be all around those cool mountains. Drum roll, please. My favorite memory of the week was going to that spot in the Smokies where there was a lot of spots like this, but the first one where it was all flowery, I thought that was so cool, and the fact that I just happened to catch it was awesome. It's always flowery in this part of the Smokies, but I just happened to be there at the right time. That was really cool. When it comes to things I've learned this week, it's always a lot, isn't it? I learn new stuff every week. But first of all, I'm actually going a lot faster than I thought I would. I thought I would be kind of middle of the pack, but it seems like the people I started the trail with are behind me, so I must be going faster than average. But I don't know. I don't think I'm necessarily like, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and walking 20 miles. I just feel like doing big days sometimes, and that's just kind of how it ended up. This was also the first week when I started to have some bad days. At first, starting the trail, I was like, wow, I am so happy, in such a good mood, so glad to be here every day. Is this gonna last? I know at some point being outside and doing cool stuff every day isn't gonna be as exciting anymore. It's gonna become more routine. And that happened yesterday, definitely just having a bit of a bad day. So I learned that I'm still gonna have bad days out here, but I'm gonna get through them just like I always do. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm like trying to stay in this shadow so it's not weird light on my face. I'm sitting next to a rhododendron bush. I'm just gonna go with it. But let's see, what else I learned was that when you're coming up on a potential place to stay overnight, don't just look at the most obvious or even the cheapest option. See what else is out there and think about what you need. Because, like I was saying, Standing Bear kind of has a monopoly on this location on the trail. Well, not really. I could have gotten a shuttle and gone to the next small town or something. Another thing I learned, speaking of resupply, is that the grocery store in Hiawassee spoiled me, because now I'm having all these ideas of like, ooh, I should get dried blueberries. Ooh, what if on a 0 day I have some yogurt? But I haven't been able to have any of that stuff because it's very limited options after you get out of Georgia. So far anyway. Hopefully in Hot Springs there'll be a nice big grocery store. And just like that, week 3 is done, under my belt, in the books. And I feel like I'm really deep in now. You know, I felt like I was wading into the water in the beginning, and now I'm fully immersed. And don't get me wrong, I knew this would happen. I knew bad days and rain would come along eventually. Now I'm just fully into the experience and ready for the rest of it.